Busy time, busy time. Dad was cutting down trees today. He's doing the front stoop to put the railing
Still
in.
going with that? I thought that was going to be a one-day job.
No, you know what happened? While I was up at Papa's, we had some rain, and I was out there with the dog, and all the mortar washed away that he put on there. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't usually happen. So he had to basically do it all over again today, this time with cement. And now you got to leave it. You had to cover it because we had rain. You got to leave it for, I think they said 7 days. 28
Damn.
days is the best, but 7 days, I think you can start building on it. So given that, your dad will wait 2 days and he'll start doing it. You know?
It's good enough. Let's work.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It
let's
feels
work.
good. We can do it.
That's Dad.
So that was a bit of a setback. He was a little pissed about that, but yeah. That and the tree guy's coming. He's taking down a couple big trees in the front of the house. And then he'll do the stumps. So, that'll be on the 11th when Dad leaves.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I haven't had. Yeah, Ken, you gotta go home. You gotta come home.
Oh, God,
yeah, everything.
FaceTiming him.
Not much going on here, which is nice. I'm still waiting for Uncle Jerry's gift to come for his birthday. Looking good.
Good.
I don't want to say it on the podcast because I was scared Aunt Sue's going to see it or Uncle Jerry's going to see it, and they won't. And it spoils the surprise. I was just thinking, I was like, how did they get that? They're shipping it to me. Yeah. I was like, how do you fit that? Like, that's not going in my locker. They'll have to give that to me at my door. I have to believe.
Yeah, remember I saw boxes outside the place.
I don't know what determines whether it goes outside or not. Like at my door
probably
and
fit.
the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, probably fit.
It's 5 by 12. It's 5 by 12, which is pretty big for a you know what. So I have to assume.
You can leave delivery instructions sometimes.
Yeah, I couldn't. They didn't let me.
Oh,
they give you optional I thought when it said like optional request stuff, I thought it meant like, oh, can you add an extra this or that? But no, I didn't realize it means delivery options.
Well, sometimes it's delivery options, or sometimes it's the actual site will let you when you order if you tap in instructions. Like if there's a gate code, for some people they have a house with a gate. In there you could put instructions like, please leave the box next to my front door or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So other than that, pretty easy week. Nothing real. This was kind of a boring week, just a busy week of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of boring one, but we have a lot of news to go through, Ma. We have a crap ton of news.
Yeah. Our days were slow, but the week was fast.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
We had, I think we have like we're turning into an AI podcast with the amount of AI articles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me, speaking of,
I guess because it's going on in Congress right now and there's a lot of attention being given to it. What I have 3 things with AI. It was one right after the other.
Hold on, I just want to see. I don't want to start with AI today. I kind of want to start with all the other global stuff. Hold on. Okay.
Well, I'd like to know, is anybody stealing your content?
No, not really. But the content thing is, I know you're probably going to try and segue into some article here, but content, it's tough to steal content.
Well, apparently they're doing it.
Okay, so I guess we're going right into AI.
Yeah, he wants to repeal the Section 2. Well, no, this isn't. Well, I guess it is the AI. Repeal Section 230 Communications Decency Act. Remember we were talking about that like last year, Section 230, when we were dealing with is YouTube allowed to censor information that they think is inappropriate? Technically, you can't. There's Section 230. Well, he's saying repeal it. They're using the AI, what is that, large language model?
Yep.
Taking copyright work. So they're taking copyright work to create the AI to give them the information to fund it.
We kind of knew that was going to be a factor, though, because as we always talk about, AI is not thinking for itself. It's just pulling data from somewhere. So, and compiling.
Right, but there's a writer, they reference a writer in this article, right, that the AI was able to process his books in like 3 seconds.
Yeah. And
post all the information. And that's all his content. Those are his books. That's what he wrote. If anybody else did that, they'd have to, it's copyright infringement, right? Especially these companies that are making money off this AI. That's his work. That's his information. So that's a real issue that they need to address, because some things are not just general acceptable information. Some things are copyrighted information, songs or writings,
Yeah.
artwork, right? And if AI is going to use the information about it, the person that created it should get paid for that.
Yeah, agreed. The way YouTube does copyright claims is they kind of give you, it's not very good, to be honest, unless it's like directly one for one. But
Right.
sometimes it'll give me a list of things that have nothing to do with my content. And I'm like, man, how'd you come up with this and this? And then like the annoying one is every time someone mentions pancakes,
Oh.
yeah. So it's hundreds of videos. And I'm like, oh God. Like the first thing that comes up when you type in pancakes, never going to be me. You'd have to do pancake gaming, I think. And then
Well,
I
with
would
a
come
K.
up. Yeah. Well,
Right,
even
even
that,
with a
even
K.
with a K, I'm not well known enough for it to be the first thing to pop up, unless you go
Okay.
into accounts rather than just videos. Then I think I am the
Oh,
first thing that comes up. But
okay.
yeah, I think the real question here is how is Rosie O'Donnell not in a freaking mental institution? But whatever. I just saw that on the side. That lady's like a legit. Everyone says she's legitimately crazy. But yeah, so I know that I think you had another article in here about music, right? The
Well, the
copyright for music.
AI music creators, they're getting recording contracts. So
Yeah.
this guy, Oliver McCann, he's a British AI music creator. Can't play an instrument, never taken a music class.
Yep.
He wrote some lyrics. He's calling them lyrics, but I think he just, maybe it's poetry of some sort. And he wanted to put it to music. And he uses a chat bot to make the music.
Yeah. He's very popular.
Halwood Media signed him up. One of his tracks, he got 3 million streams for the one song that he put together with it.
I was thinking about this recently. So actually, let me take you down a little rabbit hole here. So there's a famous YouTuber named Rick Beato, I think is his last name. I forget how he pronounces it, but he's a guy he's a producer, but he's an older dude who interviews guitarists, whether it's like Pink Floyd, newer guys, younger guys, and he's been fighting the last month about the Universal Music Group that copyrights his stuff every single day. Like literally
Right.
every video he uploads, it gets copyrighted, which I'm a little on the fence of that one because I don't know what's considered fair use and what's not when it comes to music terms. Like I always assume
Right.
that it's not fair use because actually the one thing I do relate with him on is one of my original channel strike. The one that you didn't give me was
Ooh.
yeah.
Was it me?
No, the first initial one was for playing Rocksmith, where I'm actually playing guitar and playing the songs. But it is the music, so I kind of understand. But
Right.
yeah, so anyway, he's kind of dealing with this because the AI systems, kind of like linking the two articles together, the AI systems can't figure out fair use. So
Right.
I don't know what YouTube actually uses to
Stop touching your nose. You're driving me
I'll
crazy.
tell you why, because I have like a hair here that keeps going up into my nostril and I can't.
All right, well,
I'm
you
like,
go blow your nose or something. You drive me
I
crazy.
gotta I gotta keep it down. But so it's all the cocaine I've been doing, Mom. Now that I'm getting so famous,
Yeah, I know. Like you gotta twitch
I feel like I'm
yourself
in Wall Street. But I don't know what YouTube actually uses for their copyright claims, but I don't know if it's Universal Music Group's actual detections that YouTube allows them to use to find these things. So it just goes to show you that these AIs, even though they're great in certain circumstances, when it comes to videos, they're not very good. But that was a little bit of a side note. But
Yeah.
one thing I wonder is back in like the 80s when they started doing music digitally, I wonder how many of the guys looked at each other when the synth was made.
Yeah.
And they were just like, man, one day people are not going to have to make their own music anymore because now we could do drums and vocals in the synth using auto-tune or whatever. And now we're there. I always find that fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, they were saying that musicians are outraged because the source of the material to generate the new music is being used. Like the AI is pulling the music background, if you will. It's sourcing it from other songs. It may not be one particular song, but it's sourcing it from other songs. But then again,
Right.
you used to have the auto-tune, the drum machinists and synthesizers, right? That was the start of it. Like you said, now we're getting to the point where they have AI just coming in actually doing the music. There's using the tools Suno and Udio.
Yep.
But I don't know it's going to get a lot of traction right now only because like Deezer, they estimate that's a music streaming service. Only about 18% of the songs on its platform are AI generated.
That's still pretty
So they think,
big.
right.
That's still a
Their
lot.
attitude is like it's not, they don't think it's a big problem yet. But like anything else, it's gonna explode. And the guy just got a contract, a music contract. He's not even a musician, right?
A couple, like I would say like a month or two ago, there was a major record label that signed an AI singer. I don't remember who it was. It was some rapper, but
Oh, jeez.
uh, yeah, we're at that point. We're at that point where I think the best case scenario, which I have seen before, is they'll take like old Queen, uh, take Freddie Mercury's voice and have him sing other songs that are modern
Yeah.
day songs. That one, you're like, okay, it's Freddie Mercury singing some other song. But when you start making your own content or making content using that person's voice and writing music, then it's like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Right? And it's only a matter of time. We're going to get to that point. You're telling me I can have Freddie Mercury, David Bowie, I'm trying to think of Michael Jackson all in one song? Like, that would be.
Well, I guess part of the claim is AI is sort of a layering function. It's not a music thing. It's taking, or the AI music thing, they're using other songs because it can't create, it's not a
Its own,
Beethoven.
yeah.
It takes it from all these others, and from that it can
Right.
generate its own type of
I'm
music.
talking about the good parts, like the fair. Like I would love to hear Freddie Mercury sing this song, right? But to your point,
Right.
when we're taking "Viva La Vida" and putting it into another song, that you're like, isn't that "Viva La Vida" as they're singing to something else?
Well, and also the estate of Freddie Mercury may not want him singing, say, a religious hymn
Yep,
if he was
agreed.
a religious person. So they have a right to say, no, no, you can't use our father or husband's or whatever's voice for something like that. You don't have the right. Well, is it really his voice? If they tweak it a little bit, it's AI. Well, that's not him. It just sounds like him.
Did Freddie
And
Mercury have Freddie Mercury had a kid, right? Even though he was,
yeah, I think he has a
yeah,
daughter, but and may have other family. I don't know if it's
yeah.
his parents. I don't know if they're still alive, but I'm just using that as an example. It's just like the celebrity saying, hey, you can't, it's not right to be able to do an AI version of me and say, well, we don't have to pay that. And we just tweak it a little bit so it's not you, but everybody knows it's you. That's not fair to them. They should get compensated just as if they were in the movie themselves.
Right.
So it's been a slippery slope and we knew it. And even though they're all claiming, well, it's a tiny fraction, that's now.
Yeah, give it 5 years. And
Yeah.
like we're at the point where we're signing AIs. Like that's
Yeah.
why would I hire people? I think the other downside of AI is when you look at, and I'm not disrespecting a lot of these TikTokers, but I do feel like because of AI and autotune, it's really killed natural talent. Because there's so many people that make great music, but they can't go on stage. And I'm okay with the
Right.
great music, but you can't have them. That the shelf life of that is only so long.
Right.
So unless you have actual talent, it's kind of a slippery slope, because if you have actual talent, real talent, you're going to get discovered. But because the talent pool is so big, everyone has a TikTok, right? So if you know how to use AI properly to make it seem like you can sing or you're a musician,
Yeah.
yeah, we're kind of in. There's so many possibilities.
Well, right. And I'm always anti AI, but we were talking today, they're big into the robots now. That's been in the news quite a bit. The AI robot, the AI robot dog. And my first reaction is ugh, everyone's gonna wind up having an AI robot. But then I thought about somebody like your grandmother, who, if an AI robot was in a position to be a caregiver, she could stay independent. Like if I could trust
Oh
the
yeah.
AI robot to be, almost like a nanny, if you will, then they could be on their own much longer and you won't necessarily need care facilities. Same thing with children. Technically, it's not an adult, but it's a thinking, quote
Right.
unquote, machine that can do virtually any response you need and get in touch with people. So I do see some pluses to it. But things like this with the music and whatnot, you're crossing over into an area. I remember Britney Spears, for instance. She was the type of singer that everybody mocked because she wasn't a talent. She was just a pretty face. And they taught her how to dance, right? She was like the Mouseketeer Club,
Oh
right?
yeah.
She doesn't have,
The
in my opinion,
Mouseketeers, you mean?
yeah, she was the
She started
Mouseketeer,
as
one of the
yeah,
Mouseketeers.
started as Disney.
Right, her with Justin Timberlake, and I think the one who is a good singer. I can't think of her name. It'll hit me. Oh, What a Girl Wants, that one. That
Oh,
singer.
the one that's married to
Oh, she's
Blake
married.
Sheldon or whatever.
No, 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 no. Oh, come on.
Oh, not Gwen Stefani.
No, 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 no.
I got you. I
One,
got you.
what a girl wants, what a girl needs. Genie in a bottle. What's her name?
Christina Aguilera.
Yes, thank you. Now she has a very strong voice, Christina Aguilera. A
Really?
trained, a wide octave voice. Britney Spears didn't have any of that, right? For a while, then Britney was bigger than the other one. Everything was synthesized. They called her synthesized music.
Yeah.
Because a lot of record labels would do this. So the ones that are complaining about this, and it's not the record labels, more the artists. It's like, you know what? You've been doing this forever with the synthesizers. You take a pretty face, you put her in some trampy clothes, you teach her, you do a music video of her singing. She's no talent, but you synthesize her voice and you make her sound like she's fairly decent.
Yeah.
And usually it was a club song that they play over and over at the nightclubs.
Yeah.
And someone make a career out of it like Britney Spears did.
I always think of how crazy it kind of is that I think Disney kind of caught on to that. Like, hey, some of these people don't have talent. But when you look at the people that came out of Disney, like Timberlake, obviously, and then the one you said, I don't know how many more there were. But then think about the Jonas Brothers. Look at how big they are now. They're all very talented, right?
Yeah.
Then you had Demi Lovato, who I was like, there's no way she can actually sing. She can sing. Like, she's actually a very good singer. And then Ariana Grande. I forget if she was Disney or Nickelodeon, but that's a big one.
They were Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. But that's quite the class of singers. Like, people that came out. The voices that come out of that. Disney's doing something right.
Disney was doing it back in the 50s, and that Funicello came out of Disney. They did she was in the Disney, and there was a guy with it. They did a whole beach series from Disney. And that Funicello, they were teenagers in California on the beach, and they would sing each week in black and white. That's how
Right,
long ago they were churning out these celebrities.
Oh, so I guess my question is, was the longevity always as long as it is now? So, like, how long have the Jonas Brothers been famous for? 20 years now, it feels like. When they come out,
but I mean,
how old
that
was
was
15?
in the 50s, so
Yeah.
it was before Aunt Susan's time. I remember seeing it because I would watch reruns, and I loved the show. I used to watch the old black and white.
But see, my question is, did they have careers through their 30s and 40s as singers?
Well, they went on to other stuff. They did movies, they did TV shows.
Okay,
So they were launched by the Disney Club, the Mickey Mouse Club, it was called back then. The Mickey
Still
Mouse
is
Club.
the Mickey Mouse Club.
Right. Sure. So that's the next generation. And then eventually got to this. Nickelodeon kind of bought into that idea, although they had their issues with child abuse and whatnot that some of them are alleging.
Yeah.
The younger people are alleging. So I don't remember hearing of that with the Disney ones. But who knows? But yeah, I just, they're talented, and some of them are very talented. You have to audition. You have to get picked to be in that, right? But then somebody like a Britney Spears, they just decide, oh, she's a pretty face. And we know she was a little, obviously easily to manipulate. We learned that later on.
Had a lot of
do stuff with her family too. Who knows what that story was?
Right.
And it's like, it's happened many times. Just you take a mediocre singer, you put her in trampy clothes, and it was really important with the dawn of music videos in the 80s. Because now it's all about looks and showmanship. Right. And then you had synthesizers. They didn't need to be great singers.
Well, I've never seen the lady that sings, make your own kind of music. You know that lady?
Oh, yeah.
She is, I did not think that was that lady. You know who that is? Yeah, I don't think she's alive anymore, but it's like, whoa. Right. They were not putting her in music videos. No offense to the lady. I'm sure she's a great person. But she's no Britney Spears.
Look at Mama Cass, right? She was the heavy woman from the Mom and the Papas.
Right.
She's no looker. She was a heavy, heavy woman.
Damn.
Now, Michelle Phillips, you know her from, that was the mother from the three female singers, Wilson Phillips.
Okay? Nope. I don't know. Who is it?
Did you ever see Bridesmaids with Kristen Wiig? Remember that show, Bridesmaids, the comedy
Bridesmaids
where
cast.
her best friend's getting married.
Which
Did you ever see
one?
it?
It's. I don't think so. Which lady?
Oh, it's funny. Well, some of your listeners might know it.
Yeah, but
So Wilson
I'm looking at the
Phillips,
cast here.
Wilson Phillips are the singers. There's the father. I think his father. Um, one of the there's three girls, two sisters, right? The one I think in the green was one of them. Two of them, their father was the Beach Boy, Brian Wilson, and the other one, Phillips, was Michelle Phillips' daughter. I believe the father was also from the Mama and the Papas. I can't think of that guy's name, but
You're going
uh,
off the rails, mother. You're going off the
well,
rails.
yeah. Anyhow, the Mamas and the Papas was a big group in the 70s, a lot of songs. The one woman was very attractive. The other woman was extremely overweight, obese, not attractive at all, but she had a fabulous voice. So they were a group, two guys and two girls, the Mamas and the Papas. That's what I'm saying. It was pre video days.
Yeah.
And that's what changed.
But the 80s is when it started happening. The 80s,
Literally
the music
80s.
videos. Sometimes I'll watch the old 80s music videos, like when you watch Old Journey, and you're like, oh, this is tough, but we get it. Right? The audio doesn't quite line up. It's not
Here's
perfect.
another one. So, what's her name? What's her name? Madonna. Oh, listen to me. I'm getting old.
Oh.
Madonna was sensational with the look and coming out with all these different styles and whatnot. That spawned the Lady Gagas, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when remember Lady Gaga came out, she was all sensational. She wasn't. Her music was good, but it was dance music.
Yeah, and then
Club-
people kind of realized that she's kind of a. Remember, she went through a really wacky phase, Lady Gaga.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if it was intentional. Like sometimes you build the career as a persona, not as yourself. And that's kind of what she did. I think she did the same thing. You never saw her face.
Sia.
That.
Yeah.
Sia, thank you. So, but Lady Gaga, it turns out she could really sing.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that when she started out because she was like your typical synthesized music. The record label gave her 20 songs. She had this weird ass style. They did videos with her. She did the same. They synthesized the hell out of it. They gave her dancers. That was the formula. That's how you had a successful Britney Spears.
But she also had that one. I think it was like the MTV Music Awards. I think it was like the 2009 one where she did Poker Face Live, and to this day, it's like considered one of the best on TV shows, I guess you could say, or like.
Well, yeah, I mean, you found out that she.
And then everyone was like, "Whoa!" So, yeah, that was. I think that really, boom, skyrocketed her.
When I was younger, and I think you guys see this, like for instance, with Super Bowl shows. Okay, you didn't have as much with the synthesizing and everything, but there was some of that later on, like in the 80s and the 90s. A band may have had a great record, but if they couldn't perform on tour, they just people lost interest in them, right?
Yeah.
So oftentimes, this is the weirdest part. I've heard musicians from like say the 60s, 70s, maybe the 80s say, we couldn't do songs the ways we wanted to because we knew we couldn't perform it live that way, right? So if they use like a special equipment or whatever in the studio, if you couldn't replicate that on the stage, which they didn't have the equipment and the stuff like that, they would just get like booed. People just didn't they wanted the same sound live that they would get off a rack. I mean, you could tweak it a little bit and give it some, but I've been to a lot of concerts where they stunk. I mean, the band was terrible. And it wasn't just because it was an off night, it was because they're very different in the recording studio than they are live. So it's not like, Taylor Swift with the Eras Tour where she's performing her songs just like she sings them. You screw that up and you're not going to have $1 billion tour because people are going to be like, I don't know these songs.
What's funny is I don't know. And listen, the one thing you never want to do on the internet is throw shade at Taylor Swift because the Swifties come after you. I don't know if Taylor Swift can actually sing. I'm sure she can, but I don't know if she's like a high-level singer like a Demi Lovato or even Ariana Grande. Like, I don't know where she fits in because I've never seen her actually sing. And maybe that's just on me, but I've always wondered. Like, I know she has songs that...
Yeah, I agree. I don't think she doesn't have... I don't know that she would say she has this incredible
but
voice,
she's a great
like
songwriter.
range.
Yeah.
Right. She makes her money, probably most of it, because she owns her songs. She owns her catalog. It's not the record label giving her these songs. Like with Britney Spears, she didn't write her songs. They gave
them to her.
Right. Somebody else wrote the stuff and she just performed them. Like
Yeah.
Olivia Newton-John was the same way. When you write your own stuff, Alicia Keys writes her own stuff. That's where
Yeah,
you really make
I
your money.
think
You own it.
Taylor was kind of interesting one because she started so young, wrote Love Story, which, let's be honest, it's a banger, everyone. Let's be honest. When that one comes on, you're cranking the radio. And then,
She's
but she did that at like 16 and wrote the
yeah,
whole song, like wrote the lyrics,
yeah.
and it was like the country song. Now she's obviously branched out, but she's written everything, which is, I mean, that's
Right.
a
And I
talent
think
in itself that most people don't have.
she's one of those rare ones also, like say Faith Hill. They started as
Great
country and
Yeah.
they transferred over. Then you got somebody like a Beyonce who's going the other
By the
route,
way,
who thinks she can do country music. That to me is harder. I don't know why, but usually people are accepting of country singers branching out and doing,
yeah,
like the other guy too. Um the one married to Nicole Kidman, Keith, what's his name?
urban.
Urban, thank you. So now was originally considered country, and now he's branching and he's more, pop music. So that's going to add to your bottom line also.
Right.
Country music only, I'd say within the last maybe 30 years, has become the celebrity music that it is. It used to just be like a small niche, middle America, local radio station type of music.
Yeah.
Now it's getting more attention and it's broadening and more people are into
It's
it.
also, you also have the great schism in country music, which is like the punk, not punk, but the kind of like the more hip hoppy country. So like
Yeah.
that Morgan Wallen guy that Kenny loves, like he's not like old country. Like
Right.
some people are like real purists when it comes to country
Right.
music. So
But I will say this, yeah, and some of the performers, like the Johnny Cash of their day, so he wrote his own music too.
Johnny Cash, yeah.
Some of those performers, they're just a guitar and a voice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a simple band behind them, and there is a certain twang, a certain thing that identifies it country.
You gotta have that
it's a country
banjo in the
song.
back.
Yeah, or just something about the lyrics tend to be, very close to home and
Yeah.
very, down to earth and life. My girl left me. And my
Yeah,
car
and to
broke down
kind
kind
of
of
to
thing.
kind of turn it back to the AI topic that we were talking about. There's
Yeah.
only so much you can replicate, right? And then I guess the real question is how many more years until you can replicate that southern feel.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Yeah.
describe it, but like there is something about like of all the music I would personally want to see live. Like think of the Ed Sheeran concert, for instance, which I know is in country, but he does that whole thing with just a guitar.
Yeah.
Remember, he comes out with the pedals. He does it himself, right? He just pedals and that's it. That is pretty easy to replicate, and you can replicate his voice, but you might not be able to replicate the songwriting.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. That is definitely an interesting topic.
But I cut somebody like Ed Sheeran some slack, and maybe to some extent Taylor Swift too, because he can pick up a ukulele and play it. He can pick up a guitar. I don't know if he can play piano. Like some of these, even though he came out, he didn't have a band behind him, and he did an entire, mostly an album of songs for that. His next album might have an entire band behind him. So I appreciate somebody like that because they try different things with music, including the old way, right? They're not just locked into just synthesizer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a little weird.
Yeah,
if you put an orchestra behind Britney Spears, she's going to struggle. She just doesn't have the voice.
Damn, just firing shots at Britney.
Well, I'm using her as an example, but there's plenty of them out there. They think they're fabulous singers. But
Brittany,
even
my
they
mom
know.
thinks you absolutely suck. No, we never listened to her music growing up. I mean, I don't remember all of her songs, but I remember you blasting it. I remember you blasting it in the car on the way to school.
She has her pop songs, and like I said, I got a whole history of those type of albums. They're fun. They call it cotton candy music. It's not, but there's plenty of singers like the Ariana Grandes. They could do the cotton candy, but then it turns out they can really sing.
Yeah,
you could put them in front of an orchestra, and they could really sing a song.
I mean, how many times
people.
I'm pretty sure there's like a whole compilation of just times Britney Spears got caught lip syncing, like into her 30s, right? So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on because we just did a lot of AI stuff. What do we got? Do we go right?
We got one more. let me do my one more AI that I have.
Oh yes, your
Okay.
this 18-year-old.
This 18-year-old kid. We were talking about this dinner. The part that I found interesting, and I want to hear, I don't think you know this, but if I say this to you, totally science. Do you know what that is?
Why does that sound familiar?
No, jeez.
Totally science.
So, all right, this guy came up with an app that you take a picture of the food and it'll calculate the calories just from the
Oh,
picture. But it's at 90% accuracy. And some people are complaining that, you can't see everything in the picture all the time, so it can't be perfect. And even he admits, yeah, we can only go by what the picture. If there's stuff inside, we don't know what that is, right? Okay. It's $249 per month or $29.99 a year. So right now, his little app, his company, there's 30 people. It grosses 1.4 million a month. Grosses. Okay.
wow.
So he's about to go to college. When he was 7, his mother put him in a coding camp because he really liked computer games.
Right.
She said, all right, go to camp, learn coding. And he did. Okay. When he was a high school freshman, so he's younger than you. That's why I didn't know if you knew this. He's a lot younger. High school freshman, he built a gaming website called Totally Science, which helps students play games on school Wi-Fi by bypassing the internet block.
Totally
That
science.
was his thing. And I saw that and I go, damn, how many kids did I know? And how many times have you talked about that on your podcast, playing games in college
I think
or
that
high
I
school?
think we used this a long time ago. It didn't look like this, but that's why it sounds so familiar. I think there was an so when did he make this?
He must have made that when he was a high school freshman.
Oh,
So there's
no
no
way.
way.
I'm
Going to
confusing it
college
with something
now.
else then. It just looks
Right.
familiar.
Right.
We had mini
But
clip.
anyhow, I was laughing when I saw that. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, of course. This is,
There was
But anyhow, that's why I brought it up.
there was one growing up uh that in computer class with Mrs. Diorio. Do you remember Mrs. Diorio?
Yes, I
Right.
do. Yes, I do.
There was one website that we figured out that would have, I don't remember which one it was, but it could get something about it could get around the domains. Like, how schools have certain blockage.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a couple that you could get around, which was like mini clip. They were all, you weren't downloading anything. So that would let you get around the blocks. So
Yeah.
because you were able to do in-web games, that's how you would do it. But yeah, what I was going to say is, it's funny how, remember a couple years ago, it was Learn to Code, which was like, how dare you say that to someone learning to
Right.
code? And now you have a 7-year-old learning to code, and now he's making, I'm sorry, 1.4 million a month. Well, the company is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Why is he going to college? What's the point?
Well, I think he's questioning if it's really necessary. I don't know. There's a certain arrogance to it. I appreciate what this kid did, and he wants to keep going with it. He thinks he'll probably sell this and maybe do another startup of some other thing. He wants to make entrepreneurial type companies his future, but he's got to talk about, I go to school now, my Lamborghini. I don't like people who are like that.
Well, he's young. What do you expect of an 18-year-old?
Yeah,
An
he's
18-year-old that's
going to
making
college.
millions of dollars as a senior. Right.
It's somebody that maybe doesn't need college. I'd be the first one to say, you don't need to go to college. You're set for life, if you want to just dabble. But whatever, I just thought it was kind of interesting and a positive AI, somebody making some money.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a decent app based on what most people say, although there are some limitations. And I'm always chomping on AI, so every now and then I like to come give it
give it the prop.
value in it.
Yeah, it's funny how AI seems to do a pretty decent job, like the startup companies do a really decent job at helping at those little inconvenience problems. So, man, how many calories is this apple? Like, stuff like that. But when it comes to other things, you're like, But I guess my AI one, which we can go right into, the humanoid Tesla bot that's going to turn this thing into a $5 trillion company. The one thing that I find funny, I don't know if you saw today, but Tesla offered Elon like a severance package, which I'm surprised they didn't fire that person immediately for offering him a severance package. But I love how no matter what Elon does and like no matter what he comes up with or Tesla comes up with, there's always someone, CEO Elon Musk is the most disliked man in America. Like we can't even get through anything
Yeah.
without some opinion on the person when you're just talking about the robot. Just tell me the robot. But anyway,
Well, usually it depends on the site too. What is this? Jalopnik?
Jalopnik, whatever. But I saw it.
Jalopnik?
So
Okay.
this is actually, they think it's going to be. They announced this at the end of 2024 with the RV, the Tesla RV. So we knew that this was a thing. We just didn't think it was ready for production, and it's still not ready for mass production. But these things, ready? I looked into it. What these things do are basic house chores. Basic.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can you go get me a soda from the fridge? Like, it has to be specific.
Right.
Now, these things are only going to get better, as we know.
Yeah.
What would you say, Mother, is a fair price for a human robot in the house?
Well, I mean, right now it's going to be very expensive because it's not commonplace. It's not mass produced.
So take a
yet.
guess. What do you think it is?
Oh, $25,000 right now for one.
I thought you would say a lot higher. It's actually 30,000 for one, which I thought was a pretty good deal for something that's going to be able to do the basics. Like, oh, maybe it'll cook mac and cheese for me. I don't know the limits of what it's able to do and how good it is, but mine's on the way, so I'll let you know.
Well, I think the important thing is if you can tweak it. So, nobody wants to, other than multimillionaires who have to have the first thing, the first iPhone, the first everything. They'll probably spend the money and just trash it in a year when the better model comes out. If you can take this and just update it, that's a different story.
Well, Tesla's great about that, right? When you look at the Tesla like the cars, there's always an update. So, is that Bubblicious? I haven't heard Bubblicious in a while.
Yeah, I think he hears Dad. Dad's probably gonna. All right, Bo, stop.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, I agree that everyone is going to want to have one. It is obviously I've known since I was a little kid it's the future because we watched the Jetsons. Everybody had a robot in their house.
About time.
So we knew it was coming. But that was like I was saying, I don't need somebody getting me a drink. That just means I'm going to get lazy, fat, and stupid because I don't have to get up. But
I just picture the deadbeat dad who doesn't have to tell his wife anymore. Oh, I'll be nice today. Deborah, you don't have to do it. Robot, go get me my beer. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, given our situation, if I'm ever in a situation like Mom and robots can take that place?
Right. Pills at 9, I think, is pretty easy.
And I don't need to be living with anybody. I have a robot sort of watching me with a built-in automatic message to you, your brothers. Someone needs to get to her house right away. I mean, you still have that distance issue, but depending on how advanced it is, maybe it's an android. It could drive her to the hospital. It could stay with her in the hospital. It's almost like a humanoid.
I don't know why, but I instantly thought about defibrillation. Do you think it could do instant defibrillation if it had to?
Probably. It
That'd
could probably
be pretty cool.
I mean, down the road, obviously not.
We got time.
It's just able to make mac and cheese.
Yeah, maybe. Right now, it's go get me my beer, you stupid robot. That's really all it's for. So I think.
No, it's go get me my Ozempic shot, so I don't have to get up.
Go get me my Wegovy. Yeah. But I think the actual design of the robot, like I think we're done there, right? The design is probably flawless. It's as close to a human as you can possibly be. Now it's just the AI brain that they have to work on.
Well, no, I think the ultimate goal is an android type.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're gonna put human type skin or synthetic skin on this, give it a face, hair.
Yeah, but
I
mean the basics to be able to mop the floor or sprint. I don't know. Like that stuff's done, set in stone. Now it's just making, like, all the base components are done. Now it's like, oh, let's make this more ergonomic, more human-like.
Yeah.
So,
I suppose.
Like, what I'm saying is we are in the end stages, I think, of humanoid robots. Now it's just the brain part that we have to work on.
I don't think so. I think they're going to be tweaking everything about it. I mean, look at the vacuums. The iRoomba vacuums.
The Roombas? Those things are stupid.
Well, everybody thinks it's wonderful.
Shit.
Right. If you ask people that own it, it does a terrible job.
Yeah.
Like it's good for basic cleaning of certain floors, but deep cleaning, no, I can't do that.
Everyone knows Kenny's robot, Dustin Bieber, is not picking anything up. That's what he has it named, Dustin Bieber, on his phone.
Well, he had it forever, and then lo and behold, he got a traditional vacuum, and he was vacuuming like every day. He
Yeah.
loved it. He's like, look at all the dirt that's coming out. I got a full cat coming out of my carpet every
Yeah.
day because
It's
all the hairs and stuff.
does it
And that's
suck?
after using iRobot for how long? iRobot for how long? Like that thing's
I'll tell you
perfect
this
for
though.
anything.
The pool vacuums, the robotic pool vacuums,
Yeah.
those things have gotten really good. Like they'll go up on
Yeah.
the sides now and go around. And it does it pretty fast too.
Well, no, they've always done that. The real test, though, Chris, you go to a pool store because whenever I get the water tested, you would see all the pool vacuums in the
Yeah.
back waiting to be repaired because they
Oh,
would all break down. I just always remember that with the guys when I'd go. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. They're like, every season, everybody's breaks down.
there was a video a couple months ago that Linus Tech Tips did that had this really high-end vacuum. It was like a $10,000 vacuum, pool vacuum. The pool, yeah, the pool was like, when we opened the pool and it's black, this thing was siphoning. That's what this pool looked like. And this vacuum was able to basically clean the water to the point where it was clear again. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
So,
I must filter it too.
yeah.
There's a lot of crap. I'm afraid to open our pool. I don't know. I'm hoping they buy it as is. We haven't opened that pool.
Which
in 3
pool,
years now.
mother? Which pool at the
Oh,
house?
please. Oh my gosh.
Which pool?
The
The
one that
indoor
has the
one. The
weeds.
indoor
The
one
one-
is fine.
The ones with the weeds growing up the side, where
Yeah.
I think by next year you won't even see the side of the pool.
So
There's
not
like a
the
weed
so not
garden.
the upstairs pool or the first floor pool. You mean the outdoor pool?
Oh,
Gotcha.
God, the outdoor
Gotcha.
pool. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we've pretty much gone through all of the robots and whatnot today.
We got the
So,
AI done.
Yeah, we
The
got
tech
AI
section
done.
of the podcast.
Let's go right into the more political ones, I guess. So we had the big S.C.O. summit. Did you read anything on this or did you watch it?
I didn't read much on it. I was listening to an expert about this group of people in that part of the world and what's been going on, and trying to read into Modi and what, it's very telling that he didn't go to the parade. So he's trying to keep options open with the U.S. but still side with these guys. So I guess
The
there's a lot
optics of it? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
I think it is a little scary in the sense of this is kind of to me like the new NATO. These are the people that don't want to rely on NATO anymore and are kind of like trying to get out of NATO if they are in it. Because I think it was Slovenia, which is Slovenia, which is a NATO ally, went to this. So it's kind of like, it just kind of goes to show that NATO is just useless. And I think all the other countries are starting to realize that. But this was they did a bunch of deals. And then they showed off their new military gadgets. Now, I like to think that the U.S. from a military perspective is still way ahead of China. Maybe not in the tech aspect, but I mean, China was showing off these new lasers that they have, all the dogs.
My understanding from professionals, because I didn't see any of it, was they showed a lot of stuff, but nothing was impressing us. So in other words, the military might is more quantity and not quality.
Quality, okay.
I mean, they're not going to show you anything too cutting edge.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do that either. But they were not as intimidated by what they saw from China.
Yeah.
The comment that was most interesting to my political people that I listened to was the hot mic comments between Putin and Xi, where they talked about immortality and organ harvesting. Okay.
Oh, really? Wow.
And we know that's a big ass problem in China. And, that is sadly what we've always said is that is the wave of the future, taking organs from others and putting into those who need it, or creating those organs through fetuses, right?
Yeah.
Unborn children,
Stem
taking
cells.
the body parts.
Yeah.
Stem cells, or literally harvesting unborn children, 9-month pregnant children and using them for body parts, basically, if that's what they see as the future, because the arrogance of those who live now want to live forever and feel like they can use whatever sources. So it's just kind of interesting comments that what these two focused on, offline, and what was sort of important to them. Then you throw into the mix the nut job from North Korea.
Yeah, who I feel like they just kind of treat him like a circus act. Like I think they're like, oh, the little guy's coming, yeah.
Oh my god!
Do a circle on the wheel. I don't know
It's
why he
always
goes.
amazing.
Took
It's
him.
always amazing
Oh,
in history how you see different countries alliances that form,
yeah.
right? So in World War II is the axis of evil, right? And it was your Italy, your Germany, your Japan, right? And then you have the allies, right? Are the Americas, the Great Britons, and
Yep.
at the time Russia. It's interesting how, you know, politically people kind of mesh together.
Yeah.
And for a while there, Trump says he has a great relationship with Xi. He's got a great relationship with Putin. Doesn't mean they're going to work with the U.S. or we're going to
Right.
work with them.
Well, Trump kind
So,
of took some shots at him, as you saw, I'm sure, in the sense of he was like, it's upsetting to see you guys siding with China. But
but I wish people would really, I mean, you got to cut through the noise of everything. The effect that these tariffs have had on these countries, right? It's always the case of if you really want to hurt somebody, you do it economically, right? That
oh yeah,
cripples these nations. And Russia right now, they're fighting a major war, right? With Ukraine. They've lost millions of men fighting, or I think 1 million men in the past year fighting this war. Their economy they're struggling. China's the same thing. China's struggling, communist nations. So those are probably, I mean, China, the US, and I think Russia is considered like the three major countries right now. And the US, we're finally starting to sit pretty because we support the whole world in terms of buying their crap, basically. And that's a tremendous amount of
power.
power
Yeah.
economically. Doesn't matter about missiles and everything else. You blow the US off the face of the earth. Oh, that's lovely thought, but who's going to buy your crap, China?
Yeah.
You know what I
True.
mean? So we can sit back and watch this unfold because it's kind of pointless without us there. Anytime somebody walks in the room from the US, it should matter, right?
Right.
Because we are the heavy lifters. We do all the buying. We do a lot of the trading and the selling. And, even the Western countries, I don't know if people realize this, but in Europe, it's common practice to take like the month of August off.
Yeah. It's
in the
very
summer.
common. Yeah, they
Okay?
have like a month off of work. It's like, how's that work
Right.
out?
Yeah, that we don't understand that in America. How could you take a month off? I mean, we could take vacation time, but we'd stagger it throughout the year.
Yeah.
Nobody takes a full month off from work.
And they
right?
only work like 4 days a week to begin with. Like they don't
In
have
some
full
places,
work. Yeah,
yes.
they don't have full work weeks anyway, and then they get the break.
Right. But
yeah.
that's the mentality. That's the culture of these countries. We don't do that here. We're constantly producing, 24/7 in general as a nation. So our whole mentality is more, what always has been, versus these other countries that, what's Russia known for? They could barely feed their own people, right?
True. Yeah.
They don't have the economy we have. Same thing to some extent with China. And there's a lot of problems in China. They got a lot of mouths to feed over there.
Yeah.
And it's a communist nation. So eventually it becomes a real problem. But
You
anyhow.
Ready for this translation? You know who
No,
else
go
is
ahead.
having other problems? Have you seen what's going on in Indonesia? Have you paid attention to this at all?
I saw your article. I didn't hear much about
Guy had to
this.
miss out on the he was apparently supposed to go to the S.C.O summit too, but so this is over. Basically, I mean the obvious, which is that too many people are corrupt in politics and all this. But basically, the big thing that they decided to do was they decided to give all military personnel and political leaders these $3,000 a month homes, $3,000 US, not in their currency. Let me just I saw it somewhere. I just don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's USD. So that's pretty substantial, right, for their cost of living. So the wages are going lower, cost of everything's going higher. But so these protests didn't just start, but here's what happened. The other day, I think like 2 days ago, police were just going through the streets in a car, right? No one on. And they just killed this like 22-year-old on a motorcycle, just kept going. And that's when the unrest happened. That's when they were like, oh, you don't care about the people. What I find amazing is how I almost kind of want to compare it to like the George Floyd situation where one life turns the whole thing, right? And it's kind of fair. But what I mean is like now it's just burning buildings. Now it's this and that. So they're trying to figure out, and I don't know how long this protest is going to last, but I just thought it was fascinating how in the span of a day and one death, unfortunately, don't get me wrong, the whole thing just turns from peaceful protest to riots. So
Yeah, and I don't know enough about this, but usually it's not about the one person that was killed. There's
yeah,
usually
that was the
underlying
tipping
tension.
point. Yeah.
Right, and something sparks it. And sometimes it's intentional. Like in other words, like the George Floyd, they intentionally wanted something like that so they could start this
So
whole
have a
other
reason. Yeah.
right and turn him into something that he wasn't. This leader and role model for all of the black community, which George Floyd was not. Same thing over there. I don't know. They were martyring this individual on the bike who was killed, but it sounds like it was just a reason
Right.
for this rioting to happen. So I don't know. It could be, it's been going on in a lot of places. You get that divide. And we've always had this problem in history. It's never good when you have a bunch of wealthy people and a lot of low income
yeah, and no
people.
middle.
Right. You need that middle class. And that's, back to present day. That's why that forgotten middle class became so important in our last election. They were losing their jobs, inflation, all the stuff that, when you do that, you create so much unrest in a country. And then the middle class starts getting poorer and poorer and poorer and poorer.
Right.
And that's not good either. That's how you wind up with the French Revolution, the American Revolution. Well, that was a little bit different, but and right now in the UK, I mean, it's a mess over there. They don't want to admit it, but there could be a civil war in that country pretty soon because you can't keep suppressing one class of people. Possibly based on what you're talking about, these apartments, something like that was going on over there in Indonesia, where you had this growing upper class.
Yeah.
And a lot of the common man was being crushed financially.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like it was kind of like their way of saying we need more military, so join the military because you'll get this nice apartment. So yeah, just backfired, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Speaking of countries falling apart, Trump says Venezuela's jets will be shot down if they endanger U.S. ships. Did you see the drug bust?
Yeah, I did.
So I didn't realize that, what's his name, Maduro, is a wanted man. Did you know he's like the highest?
Yeah,
he has the
US,
highest.
$50 million.
It's the highest bounty ever on a person. Like that's you messed up a country really bad when you're worth more than Osama bin Laden. Right? He was only worth 25, double. But basically, the reason for those of you wondering is one, he's run Venezuela into the ground to the point where someone has to do something or step in. But also, it seems like he's heavily associated with these drug terrorists or narcotic terrorists coming in and out. So basically, Trump posted a video of them just bombing this Venezuelan. I mean, it's literally just a drug trafficking boat.
Narcotics boat, yeah.
It was just hilarious.
It was an interesting bomb used, too, because it didn't destroy the whole boat. It just blew up the inside of the boat, which I thought was amazing. I think it was a drone. Wasn't it a drone?
I think it was a plane. I'm pretty sure it was a plane.
Oh, it was a plane.
Yeah. But, well, maybe you're right. Maybe it was a drone. Who knows? But, it's funny how many people are like, how could you do that to narcotic terrorists? It's like, are you retarded? Like, I can't. It's unbelievable, some of the people on Twitter. I'm starting to believe more and more bots are mental illness. It's got to be one of the two.
It's incredible what this president, like I said, love him or hate him, he's got people dancing like puppets, and they don't want to admit it. I was reading an article. So genius of this administration, I don't know if it's genius, but they said, we're thinking of limiting guns from transgender people.
Yeah.
Okay. You actually have the NRA coming out and saying, we're against that. I don't care who you are. You can't limit guns to people. I read some story about a group of young Democrats who were trying to figure out, how are we going to address this gun issue? What are we going to, and this is what they came up with. Okay, everybody else is not allowed to have guns except for transgender people because they needed to protect themselves.
That's so crazy. Yeah, like I'm going to be the first one to lead the charge. We need some form of a culling. I can't take these idiots.
And they just exposing them every day. And I did the JD Vance one. I don't know if you saw my clip
Yeah,
from JD Vance.
I was
Yeah,
gonna bring that
where
up in a sec, but
yeah, the guy's trying to parse. Well, it's a definition of whatever race. The guy's like, I don't give a shit what your definition
yeah,
is. As American citizens, they are so clueless. Your average citizen, especially, and all of us, including our own family, not directly,
how
thank God, but
brain dead
have
do
been
you have to
affected by
be?
drugs.
How
Yeah,
brain dead do you have to be to say, okay, take guns away from the people and give it to the people on SSRIs? Like, did we not learn our lesson with what just happened this week?
but no, that's just it. This is the people that
I know. It's
would
crazy.
fall on the sword. We gotta get these guns off the street. Everything. But once you cross over, now they're confused because now you're saying
Yeah,
what they
true.
want, but they're so blinded to the fact that, well, wait a minute, we can't do that because we're pro-trans.
Yeah.
This is how
Yeah,
their
it's a good
arguments
point.
don't make sense, and it's genius the way he walks them into it. He actually has people defending the Venezuelan drug boat, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. But the other big thing he did, I don't have an article on it, but did you see the tech companies? Right, he had Tim Cook there, Bill Gates, he had
Oh yeah, yeah.
Zuckerberg. They pledged like almost $2 trillion worth of finances. Like that's pretty freaking massive.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a problem with those people, and I don't
Oh
trust
yeah,
them
we
as
all
far as I
do.
can
But
throw them. So I don't know. I didn't look at too much that came out of that meeting. Sometimes those are just like glorified. Everybody pats themselves on the back. But yeah, I don't know what the whole point of that was. Um, yeah,
well,
whatever.
I think the point of it is they want to try manufacturing chips in the United States and not have to rely on, excuse me, China or what's the name of the thing that they're fighting? Taiwan.
No, yeah,
Like I think they
yeah.
want to start moving it more over here and do it in country. To your point, I mean, these are people that love the cheap labor, so I don't know why they would be like, yeah, please bring it to America. But yeah,
Well, remember, Trump's sitting next to a guy that a year ago was saying this guy should be in jail,
yeah, it
and
is
there's nothing
weird.
to do
Like
with the guy.
Zuckerberg's right here next to him.
Yeah, yeah. And first of all, how does that? Why does that guy get to sit next to Trump? I guess he paid his way or whatever. But at the end of the day, for those of us, like you mentioned the Epstein file, for me, I'm like, why is that man still walking around free? I don't care how much money he has.
Yeah.
That's that no one's above the law bullshit.
Now
Well, apparently
I,
tech people's above the
yeah,
law.
I think he knows he effed up, and now he's like, I gotta make amends with Trump. So
I think you give these people too much credit for conscience.
yeah,
He effed up, but money wise, he's like, yeah, I better do it because I got to save my money. It's all about preserving the cash,
yeah,
and getting their foot in the door so they can influence policy. But
right.
yeah, like I said, I just love watching these people dance, and that it exposes the fact that they don't know what they're talking about. And to think
yeah,
that this is what was ruling our country for how many years? The last 4. This nonsensical. They, when they're presented with the facts, all of a sudden they're changing their tune. Well, no, transgenders can have guns. Wait a minute. You wanted every gun off the street. And now you want to put it in the hands of a group of people that so far 2 of them have been the last offenders of a mass shooting. I'm not saying all transgenders have problems. I'm not saying that. But you're literally the first ones jumping on the bandwagon about removing guns. But somehow, well, we're not going to do that with transgender people.
Yeah.
Okay? If you just slaughtered, school children in 2 places. Okay? So they can't, and that's why you shake your head. You're like, I just don't understand people who follow this orthodoxy. It doesn't make sense.
We went off the rails again, but with the Venezuelan stuff, basically the big deal is that Maduro, he armed all of his citizens to fight against the United States, which I think they have like a population of 28 million or something like that, which is pretty substantial. But I don't think they have any. I think their military has just pretty much been run dry. I don't think there's much left of Venezuela in general.
No, but they have China to back them. They've got Russia to back them. That's all part of that axis.
Yeah, but
nations.
Yeah,
they need military might. That's what they. That's what
I
they
guess
call in their buddies.
I guess my question is like, what does he have to offer to them for help, right? What does Venezuela supply? It's a failed
Drugs.
state, right? Yeah, it's just drugs, correct?
Drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They make a lot of money from drugs.
Okay,
that's
that was
point.
my question.
And that's why Trump is, and they used to have a tremendous amount of oil. Venezuela has a ton of oil.
Yeah.
China needs oil. China constantly, because they've got billions of people that they have to, and industries to keep going, and they don't have it. Why do you think they like America so much, right? We got the
Right.
natural resources that they don't have over there. So China will make deals with anybody in the area, and they love Venezuela because they, and same thing with Russia, Russian oil, right?
Yeah.
They supply
So
the oil.
to tie this into your JD Vance one, commentator blowing up cartel was a war crime. So the reason this ties in is because Venezuela, I believe, was bringing those drugs towards the Mexican cartel, which eventually would have gotten into America anyway. But did you see the TikToker that was killed by the cartel this week with her husband and her 2 kids? Just murdered.
No, I don't think so.
No one knows what it was over, but it just goes to show she was apparently a huge star down there. And then
Drugs? Was they involved in
the,
drugs?
the husband was apparently involved with the cartel. And then the
Okay.
people that killed her, allegedly, next day they were kidnapped. Like the cartel's getting really. Mexico's just straight up not safe. Like, you don't go to Mexico, straight up. I don't care if you've lived there for 10 years. Don't go to, no reason to go to Mexico. And
I've been saying this for like 10, 15 years now. You know, we used to go, there's a family trip. Like, there's no freaking way my kids are going to Mexico.
yeah,
You're a target when you get off there. 10 years ago, now it's gotten really bad. But
really bad.
for a while there, I'm like, you know what? They just look at us as dollar signs. And
Right.
fortunately, we had some degree of protection. But nowadays, I mean, I'd say within the last decade, anybody who's going to Mexico, I'm like, you're insane. I would not risk it. I wouldn't go down there. It's just not worth it.
Rogan had a guy on that I forget his name, but he does a lot of. He's Mexican military. He's well known. I think he lives in America now, and he still like goes back and helps. But he was talking about how many of the politicians are cartel plants.
Yeah.
He said it's a crazy percentage of politicians that have been paid into or bought into certain seats. So it's not like they're bribed or anything. It's literally these guys are cartel, cleaned up, and now they're running for politics and they're winning, which is crazy.
The cartels own Mexico.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
100%.
run by Shanahan or whatever her name is. Their government is just token. They don't run anything. It is run by the cartels. They have the military might, they have the equipment, they have whatever. And it was egregious when they were coming over our border and bringing people in with military guns and whatnot. We talked about that during the last 4 years. And now all of a sudden, when we have a leader who says they're not coming in anymore, I don't want the drugs in, because it's killing more Americans than war did, every year, hundreds of thousands from drugs. That's a direct threat to our country. And he's made it very clear. We don't want that in here. And they're actually fighting us on it. Back to what you're saying, there's a writer who's been following cartels forever, and she would say, everybody talks about, how awful they are in Muslim countries, whatever, or Gaza, whatever was going on. She goes, people don't understand. The cartels are the most heinous group. They will cut the heads off, shove it in their pants, and hang people from bridges.
Yeah.
And they've done it with American citizens. They don't care. That's how very frighteningly, and we've seen it with the gangs here. People can't wrap their head around just how brutal these gangs are that have come into our country.
Right.
And then on top of it, that they're illegal, they're not supposed to be here at all, is again egregious, and they need to go. So now somebody's finally getting serious and made it very clear. You don't bring drugs into our country. That boat was heading our way. I think it was in international waters and was getting too close to our border. And it was a clear message to send to these narcotic dealers. You're not coming. And it was a message to Venezuela. Stop shipping your drugs to the U.S.
Yep.
But sadly, we're a huge market. We are a huge market.
All right, we got through all the boring political stuff. What is this one? Red alert. If you could scan.
We talked about Brazil last time. I don't know a lot about the country. I'm learning a lot, but this was an interesting piece, given that you're in media. Last week, a Brazilian judge from Blumenau, Santa Catarina, ruled that removing content deemed unloyal under Brazilian law is not enough if limited to Brazil. The judge is now demanding the global removal of online content on the threat of hefty fines to platform. So think about that, what we went through with COVID and whatnot. Imagine if a Brazilian judge says to you, Christopher, you can no longer talk about AI on your site.
Right.
Because the Brazilian judge deems it. So Mike Benz he was in the State Department, does a lot of political CIA commentary. He's really into the deep state and whatnot. He's been talking about this for the longest time. These international courts are out of control. There is no way we can allow, like he says, this is the hill to die on. First Amendment is literally our First Amendment.
Right.
I'll be damned that a Brazilian judge is going to tell me what I can and cannot say on the internet, because the internet isn't just the US bound. It's not, it's an open forum globally, and they're trying to police it.
I think what's even crazier is I don't think Brazil has Twitter still, right? So they would probably never know about this. Right?
Yeah.
We probably know about it before they do. That's funny.
Well, and obviously Mike Benz has no love for the country, but when you get to that point, the arrogance of the individuals to think that they're going to police other nations is absurd.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So his point is we need to crack down on this. We need to make it very, very clear that you want to put it in your own country. You want to have, suppression in your own country. That's one thing. But you have no right to tell other nations, especially people of the United States, where we have freedom of speech.
Right. I think this is a retaliation of the concept of what Lula said about Trump doesn't have the jurisdiction over all of us.
Right.
I think that's what this is. This judge is like, yeah, and then what we're going to do is extend beyond our own jurisdiction and reach the entire world. So, but problem is, yeah, when push comes to shove, I mean, no offense, but you don't have a chance at making that work.
Well, and also Trump's not going to be in office. We're a country where they don't rule forever. You have a 4-year, 8-year term, and he's, might be up the next 4. So ours is universal because it's got to be a truth. And we've seen how bad it is when they attempt to start going after freedom of speech in this country. It gets ugly. That's our First Amendment for a reason. We should be able to say whatever we want to say. All the other amendments build off of that one. So the thought that the country, especially, Brazil, I got Brazil tell me how we should run our country. Oh, yeah, no, you're not having freedom of speech. We're going to decide on certain platforms. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Good luck trying to do that with us. But anyhow, that's that arrogance that you get from some of these nations.
Yeah. Okay, now we're done with all the political stuff. All right. The Rock turns into the Pebble, which I think everyone is making the joke about. The Rock opens up about losing bulk to new role. It was something I was really hungry to do. No, you weren't. You weren't hungry to do this. The steroids were finally starting to kill you. But I do like how he looked in this new movie, right? With the Mark Kerr, the UFC fighter. Apparently, it's a really good movie. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it might be worth watching. But he's up for an Oscar. He got a 15-minute standing ovation, which is always weird to me that you can stand there while people clap for you for 15 minutes. I go like this, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you're getting from me. That was the extent of my clapping.
A couple things. He's also rumored they're always trying to throw him into the political ring.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think he's scaling down a bit in case. I don't know if he's interested in doing that, but I think he looks a little bit odd in the picture, the big picture. He doesn't look like him.
Yeah, he looks like a turtle.
Well, he looks elderly. He looks like he's starting to get
52.
old. I don't know if that's good too.
Well, that's what happens when you do steroids for as many years as he's done.
Well, yeah, and you're used to seeing him very big, which equates vitality. I mean, he's probably still very healthy. I just feel like he looks. He doesn't look gaunt. It's just he looks older to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy. It's crazy that guy has the same amount of chance as AOC to win the Democratic election.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of America. And we anybody can run for office if you meet the basic criteria. But yeah, I mean, he lost a lot of weight. Or he cut back on working out, right? So he's kind of slimming down. I don't even know what is he.
Well, he said he wants to do. He said he was tired of type casting and just being the action guy. So this one, not so much action. It's more of like a love story, apparently. So I think the fact that it did so well is like a big deal because it's the first time he's broken out of his role of being the action guy. So yeah, but it's good for him if he's still See, I think Mark
Well,
Kerr was still bigger than he was, which is
and you
crazy.
know what, Chris? You can't maintain it forever. I mean, look at Sylvester
Oh
Stallone.
yeah.
Look at even Schwarzenegger. You get to a point where you age out of that look to some extent. You can still be healthy and muscular, but you're just not going to be the leading man with the the young body and the constantly being at that level. I don't know that the body can keep going at that level as you get older.
Wow, that's pretty damn close between Mark Kerr and The Rock.
Yeah,
That is very.
I don't know them, but
Look at Rogan. Look at Rogan with
yeah,
hair. That's crazy.
yeah.
Wow. But yeah, so I'm actually very interested in seeing this movie. But
What's it? The Smashing Machine?
The Smashing Machine, yeah, it's about the story of Mark Kerr and how he was a 2-time heavyweight champion, even though he was hopped up on opiates most of the time.
Is Emily Blunt in it, or was that just
she
a picture
plays
from
she
the
plays the
they did?
wife. She's his wife.
Oh, they did the Jungle Queen together for
Yeah, Jungle
Disney.
Book or whatever.
Okay.
They talked about that, but yeah. So little fun stuff. Now this is a big one. Did you see this in the news?
I did not see it other than when you saw it, and I have to say I'm impressed that they even did a sunburn on his body.
The question I was going to ask you is does this upset you at all?
It doesn't upset me. The only way it upsets me is if the roles were reversed, people would have a
Have a
fit.
fit,
That's
yeah.
why I think it's wrong. That's the only.
I would
I never
agree.
cared with blackface. I don't care that people dress like this. But
But
go
that's
ahead.
easy for you to say because you're white. When I first saw this video, I did not realize that it was him, right?
Okay.
I thought it was really good up until he started acting like the racist white guy. Because then
Okay,
it
yeah.
becomes like spitting on black guys as they would walk around, like walk across from him. It's like,
Oh,
I've
yeah,
never seen that. Like now you're just making a certain race look bad for
right.
a
Right.
small population that might still do that. I don't even know.
Right.
I'm sure they're out there. But again, if you can't act like you're representing the majority of people. Because right, if I made a
Right.
joke, again, reverse it as you said, and you do something that not very many black people do, then it's a problem.
Right.
Right. But we take it even further where just even doing it is a problem. So
Right.
again, I would have been fine with it if you just acted like a normal white dude in the South, which is already hilarious. But once you start like attacking technically your own people and then making us look bad, it's like, okay, well now it's not fun anymore.
Well, and maybe I should qualify this. I don't mind it if you're going to a costume party and you want to go as Whitney Houston, okay?
Yeah.
You're probably going to darken your skin because she happened to be a person of dark skin. You're not insulting Whitney Houston just by you do it. We went through this whole phase where if you even had blackface on, that was a crime. It was racist. If you're dressing like a particular race and doing every bad habit, like it looks like this guy is trying to be like an example of everything that every white person's at fault in one person, I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong when somebody dresses up like a black person and thinks they're going to do every stereotypical thing that a
Exactly.
black
Yeah.
person would do. That I think is wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
But just because of and here's the weird part. So, okay, you're spitting on people of a race, and those people turn around and say, "How dare that white person spit on me? I'm not white, I'm black."
Yeah, but I don't. Hopefully, they told. Otherwise, you would have had a fist fight. But hopefully, they said off camera, like, "Hey, it's actually Drewski and Whiteface." But I don't think
But
it's.
my point is, why are you doing that? You're trying to make a joke about, oh, I'm going to be white person spit on black people. But technically, you're not white. You're wearing costume. You're a black person spitting on black people.
Yeah.
How is that? Just like a white person spitting on white people, that's never appropriate. I don't care what race you are. But if you're trying to be like, well, white people spit on black, you're not white.
Right. Yeah. It's. I never realized that was a thing to begin with. It makes sense, but I've never seen that. Yeah. That's what I mean. So you're making up a stereotype that might have existed. I'm sure there's people out there that do it somewhere in the South, but
of all colors.
Yeah.
That's the point. It's not the 1940s anymore. It's not the 1950s
50s.
or
Yeah.
even the 60s. I'm not telling you it doesn't happen. You and I know
And,
that.
and let me tell you
But it's
this.
not
One
acceptable.
thing that was nice was the black guy that he did do it to had to be in his young 30s, I would say. Very respectful, even after he was doing it. So props to that guy, because I know some black friends that would have lost their shit if that ever happened. I probably would have lost my shit for him. But Drewski's response for being, I don't think it's a cancelable offense. Like now they're trying to do the whole cancel him for whiteface. But the only reason they're doing that is because I don't think it's a cancelable offense. I think this is we want to watch someone crash and burn again because of what they did.
Well, I don't understand what the point of it was.
Just a skit, just because he knows he's going to make money on the video. That's it.
Is it a skit to be funny?
Yeah,
or is
just
it a
to be
skit
funny.
To be an antagonist.
Nope, just to be funny.
But if you're spitting on people, Chris, that's antagonism.
Yeah, and it's not like the whole video was that. It's just a part of the video. If it was the whole video, then that's one thing. But it was like 30 seconds of the full video, which is like 20 minutes long. Most of it's respectful, and he's just having fun with other white people who think he's a white guy. But yeah, it's not.
I didn't even have a problem when what's her name, like Joey Behar. She dressed in blackface for a party one year. She did some dance to explain it. You know, I don't particularly care for her. I think she embarrassed herself by trying to justify it. At the end of the day, I didn't have a problem with it. You were in costume,
right?
Yeah. If a black person's gonna try pretend to be a white actress, you're gonna have to wear a costume. You know, to make it look right. You gotta put. If you're doing, you know, Daredevil, you got to wear a red costume. I don't have a problem with that. When you turn around and say, well, it's wrong to do it for anybody else, and then they expose you, and then you try and dance your way out of it. That's hypocrisy. And that's why I don't have a problem with somebody in whiteface, just like I don't have a problem with somebody in blackface, if it's for a purpose.
Right.
If it's just to be an antagonist and be a stereotypical jerk, we don't need that.
Right.
There's plenty of people in both races that'll do that. And
True.
think it's acceptable. I don't need you highlighting it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The only other ones that I have, Silk Song came out on Thursday. Big. We've been plowing through it. First game ever to crash all major stores online. So you couldn't download it on Steam because of how many people were trying to download it. Same with all like the video game stores. So you had to buy like an actual physical copy. But it's the first time I've ever seen that. Highest, I mean, it started out with a 500,000 player base in the first day, which is like unheard of. So that was the big news this year. Have
you tried it yet? Is it any good?
Oh yeah, we're halfway through. Yeah, it's great. It's exactly what we expected it to be. So, but you know what's also nice? $20, not something stupid expensive. $20.
That's very good.
Yeah. So it's kind of the swing back. Whereas GTA, they just announced it's going to be the first. Not quadruple. What's 5? Pentuple.
Quintuple.
Yeah. So instead of a triple A game, it's going to be a quintuple A game because it's going to be $100. So yeah, that'll be fun.
But you get a map. Don't you get a map
for GTA?
Yeah, you get a map?
Yeah, of course. Why do you? Oh, well, Hollow Knight. Yeah, Hollow Knight. Oh, that's right. You mean the map that you get in the little? I'm surprised you remember that.
Yeah.
But that's only if you get the physical copy. I don't think if you get a digital copy, I don't think you get the map. Maybe downloadable. I can actually check that. But yeah.
Don't tell me the map is extra.
Oh, that'd be crazy. But kind of segueing it in is all the new Hollywood video game movies that they're doing. So I didn't realize it, but there's a lot that they have cooking, right? So you have, obviously, we had the Minecraft movie, the Super Mario one, Fallout. Yeah. Now they're doing God of War, which is huge. It's probably not going to be The Rock, which we all thought it was going to be. I forget who. I think they did cast them, but they're doing a Elden Ring one. They want to do a Legend of Zelda's one.
Isn't that with Jason Momoa? God of War? Isn't that out?
Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa, but thank you.
Momoa, thank you. I'm thinking of the drink.
God of War. Move. 2025.
We did talk about this once before. God of War, is he on it? No? All right. Must be something else on Netflix.
Yeah, no, it's not this one. But I know they're changing it to like I think it's still in production. It's not coming out anytime soon, so it's not going to be
Oh,
anything new. But
there's
so
something on Netflix with Jason Momoa.
they're doing Elden Ring, Helldivers, Horizon Zero Dawn. They've already done Tomb Raider, God of War, Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed are in the work. So yeah, basically they're tired of coming up with new stories. They're like, let's just take the video games and do it. They want Call of Duty actually asked them to do one and they turned it down. I was like, damn, COD, you're really falling on hard times if Hollywood's turning you down. So yeah, that's pretty much
More
all the
importantly,
big
Powerball
Sonic.
jackpot hits $1.8 billion.
Really?
Imagine that. Yeah.
Oh, don't tell Grandma. She'll be like, please go get me. Go get me on the
Every Tuesday, we gotta get her the cards.
That's
we gotta
crazy.
get her the tickets every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Actually,
So it's crazy if she says every time, I'm gonna split the winnings with you. I'm like, you won't split the winnings.
You won't.
You will take that card and you will hide it somewhere on your body and make sure I never get it.
I want to see if I'm actually gonna look this up right now. DLC, view DLC. I want to see if Grand Theft Auto actually did come with a map. Yeah, a digital map. But
I told you.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been only 10 years since I got
I remember
it.
finding that in our toy box thing.
Yeah,
opening up and I'm like, what is this?
map.
Wait, what is this? I think it was Mike. You're like, it's a Grand Theft Auto map. Like, what the hell is this for?
Well, he looks at it and he knows what it is.
Pick up hookers here.
Yeah.
Steal
Beat
a
the
car.
prostitute
Like,
down
what
here.
is
Here's the
this?
strip club.
Yeah.
What
What is this?
But yeah, so we just did an hour 33.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long one. We had a lot. We'll have to trim it down next week.
A few things to edit out.
Yeah, it's a few things. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Mom. I don't know if we have much more, but all right, we can wrap it up there.
You going to Sue's tomorrow?
Oh
you
yeah.
have to finish your podcast.
I have to finish my podcast. Oh yeah. Your mom was asking me questions that we used to talk about after the podcast, not thinking that we finished it. You think I'm just talking to you for fun, Ma? You think I'm not gonna wrap this up? So yeah, the only things we have to promote, obviously, the last podcast. Thursday was one of the speed runs. Now that we're doing all the speed runs, I actually have to record one after this at some point. And then today, so we're recording this on Saturday, I posted a build battle with Paris and Ariel. So go check that out. And then this comes out on Tuesday. And we're going to continue, comes out on Monday, but on Spotify on Tuesday. And then we're going to continue Hollow Knight Silk Song on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So social media, Pro Code Streamlinks, Discord down below. And I will see you guys, and you will see Mom hopefully next week. So.